I'm Ryker Hampton. I work for the Foster Care and Adoption Program here at ACH, and I am a Family Development Specialist. Primarily, my job is to go in and do home visits for different parents, to do training, and just really figure out if these parents are going to be a fit for ACH and what we're looking to do.
My name is Crystal Arvie, and I am the Compliance Specialist in the Foster Care and Adoption Program. My primary job is to run background checks for potential foster or adoptive parents. And because of COVID, a lot of the centers where people had to get fingerprints were closed. So I would get a lot of phone calls about that, and so it would delay people being able to complete those background checks, which delayed them being able to be licensed.
Trainings that were super important to do in person was particularly our SAMA training. We were able to do a part of it online, but the second part, which is like the physical intervention stuff, pretty hard to do through Zoom, so we still need to do that. And the reality is we can't really license our families if they don't have that training. The state of Texas is very, thinks that's pretty important, and it's hard to disagree with them there, so we still had to do it. And the only way we could really find to do it and not risk tons of people was to just do it in home. So I just went out to people's homes and did it. It was a lot more driving than I've previously done for this job, and a lot more mask wearing, but not terrible.
I had to be certified for SAMA, and I was supposed to be a backup person in the event that a foster family needed this particular training. But when COVID hit, that completely changed. And so that's why I had to go into people's homes to complete SAMA. My motivation was the children, the foster children. Any job with ACH, it always goes back to helping the kids. I was pregnant, early on pregnant, and so of course the fact that this virus was so easily transmittable, and then being pregnant, knowing that I'm, I have another life inside of me, not knowing how that would affect me, definitely it was fearful and stressful. So although, yes, was I scared going into the homes? Absolutely. But my mind was always back on those children that needed the help. So I knew my small portion of doing this training, keeping those families compliant, that was giving a child an opportunity to go into a foster home that, they could get that love and attention that they needed.
Crystal did manage to train 50 families over the course of about 9 months this year. She exemplifies every one of ACH's values. She just is, she starts with yes, she knows that we're all counting on her, and she's just a really great person to work with.
Yeah, I'd say we were really successful. I was afraid that we would not get as many families licensed or that we wouldn't be able to continue the process, but we actually licensed more families in 2020 than we were able to in 2019, which was pretty impressive for a year of COVID.
Absolutely, there was a benefit going to meet the families in person, because prior to COVID, I'm working behind a computer. It was just the name, it was just a family. But going into the homes, I was able to put a face with that person. And they actually told me their stories of why they came to ACH and how long they had been foster parents. And so had COVID not happened, I wouldn't have had that opportunity to connect with our foster parents on that level.
What did I learn? Well, I learned a lot about Zoom, that's for sure. I learned that people are a lot more flexible than you might be able to give them credit for. And honestly, I just learned the strengths of our team and how how well we communicate that we could pivot and that we could make the changes we needed to still be able to license families.
Ryker relishes, enjoys, and is very, very proud of what he does. And that makes me proud, because when he's proud, it means that he knows he's doing a good job. So because I know that I trust him completely and that he's appropriately training our families in SAMA and all the other trainings that he does, I trust that when they come out of that training that they are trained well and trained in a manner that's going to be appropriate for our kiddos.
I think life is a lot of what you make of it. I think it's pretty easy to get down in the dumps and say, hey, Snowmageddon just hit or COVID just hit. And don't get me wrong, those are horrible things, and I'm not saying that they're great by any means, but I think your outlook and what you're doing with your life and how you're kind of investing in people and what you're doing with your life really determines how happy you are in it.